understood what their fathers had believed or thought. Even the legends had become garbled. And by this time, so much well-meaning mythology had been absorbed into the conventional knowledge of the American Indian that many essential truths were obscured. The people were scattered bands of wanderers, never a nation, and, in the strict sense, not even a tribe. No set of Europeans or Anglo-Americans ever came into contact with all of them at one time. Therefore, even the written records of the people's enemies are splintered and confused. This fragmentary evidence, however, combined with scattered native legends and illumined by modern scholarship, can be woven into a reasonably complete whole. The details are missing, but the design is clear, and history, or at least the meaning to be found in history, lies in designs, not details. Any history of the people, no matter who writes it, must suffer from the fact that records were kept only by the people's enemies. Although time has provided perspective, historical vision can also be lost. Most writers on American Indian subjects are bothered by changing intellectual trends and fashions, which dictate new mythologies. Anglo-Americans, above all, have been troubled by guilt feelings, morality, and hypocrisy, either direct or in reverse. Any ideology tends to obscure perspectives and reality. The life and death of the people on the plains was and remains a human story, and like so much human history, it is tragic in its essence. The fact that Americans, for the most part, tend to reject a tragic view of human existence is probably the greatest source of American difficulty in understanding Amerindian history. The people were entirely true to themselves from first to last, and this faithfulness destroyed them. Their destroyers were also true to themselves, and could not have been otherwise. History is brutal. Only future peril lies in omitting or obscuring man's continuing brutalities. Generations that have been sheltered from the brutalities of the past are poorly equipped to cope with those of their own times. The story of the people is a brutal story, and its judgments must be brutal. These judgments may offend those who would have man be a different kind of being, and the world a different sort of place. Finally, this book requires a linguistic note. American Indian names, words, and concepts have been much confused in translation or transliteration. The North American tongues, whether highly inflected dialects like the Nahuatl of the Mexicans, or merely agglutinative ones like most Algonquian idioms, derived from roots alien to all Indo-European languages. Most American Indian languages were extremely symbolic and require two translations into Spanish, French, or English, the literal and the conventional. And most American Indian dialects created sounds that Anglo-Americans simply cannot pronounce easily. The European ear always heard something different from what the Indian mouth uttered. Many inconsistencies became standardized. Early penetrators of Indian country often employed a crudely effective system in writing down Indian words. They spelled them phonetically in their contemporary language. Thus, the Lewis and Clark expedition recorded Kiowa as Cayauwa, but scholarly conventions soon rendered this as K circumflex A I G W breve U, Webster, which few modern Americans can pronounce even with a dictionary. The conventions that spelled Kiowa, Kaywuh, Tonkawa, Tonkaway, and Karankawa, Kahrahnkaway, so they look alike, are too strong to ignore. To avoid confusion, I have often indicated an approximate contemporary American English phonetic spelling of an Amerindian word, and I have used this form of spelling for most obscure, not yet conventionalized, Amerindian names.